From scoring 38 points on 55% three-point shooting to missing out on a triple-double because of only one rebound, James Harden ended the Bucks' 16-game winning streak. Luckily, he was on hand to explain just how he did it too. It was a world-class display from the beard, showcasing his triple threat ability on the court. I'll revisit just how amazing he was on the night.
Playing their offense at a much faster pace, half court a full second faster, but just those transition opportunities make the game easy.
As easy as that three-point look from him.
And let me start with what Harden had to say. He explained how he's the most comfortable in these kinds of situations when he has to do the bulk of the work. Whether it's playmaking, whether it's scoring, I've been doing it for a long time.
We're just reminding the people of that by showing you that video.
Giannis was 4 for 15 from the line in that game you're referring to. Harden with a nice pull-up.
No one can disagree with that. He's been around for many years, and the secret to his success has been his insane consistency.
Watch this. Watch the little crossover here as he gets right past Edwards, right to the basket, strong enough to fight through that contact.
And Harden pointed out that it just wouldn't be possible without the work he puts in. You can ask anyone who has played with or coached Harden, and they'll tell you just how much of a hard worker he is, especially during the training sessions. He works on his skills even after all this time in the NBA, and it shows when he produces such performances in what is his 14th season.
4 years old in his 4th year with the Celtics. He was a head coach at Fairmount State. James Harden drills the triple and a chance at a 4-point play.
But the fourth quarter against the Bucks recently was sensational from the former MVP. Half of his total points came in the fourth, which included 2 threes as the 76ers outscored the Bucks 48-31 to win a close game. And you'd expect Harden to take the credit for a sensational display, right? Wrong. He was quick to praise the impact made by the rest of his team, saying that it wouldn't have been possible without them to get this big win. But while Harden was being modest, there was no reason for his teammates to be modest on his behalf. They were absolutely raving about the superstar. George Niang in particular, who actually knocked down 4 threes in the fourth, mentioned just how impressive Harden had been.
And yet only down 11, Mark.
Niang. They could use scoring from other sources.
Holy smokes would have been enough to explain the impact, but Niang added that Harden was the reason the 76ers got back in the game. He said that Harden had made a huge impact and done a tremendous job while providing the finishing touches to the comeback. It was an exciting watch, there's no doubt, and Niang loved watching the main man roll back the years. Didn't we all? Similarly, the poster boy of the 76ers, Joel Embiid, also talked about Harden's sensational performance.
Trying to find his rhythm at the offensive end.
How about that defense from Joel Embiid? In space.
Oh, what a dime by Harden to Max.
Analyzing how Harden was making all the right plays during the game and was coming up with the big shots and moving the ball well. He summed up Harden's night in 3 words, saying that he was great. Can't argue with that. And with the reaction out of the way, let's look at what Harden actually did against the Bucks. I mean, it was a big-time performance from Harden, yes.
His numbers getting to the cup and finishing in terms of total attempts is down, but you see the strength and balance that he possesses. He's going to give as good as he gets in terms of contact.
But when you put it into context, the opposition and their form, you realize just how special he was. The Milwaukee Bucks were and probably are the hottest team in the entire league right now. They were on a 16-game winning streak and were pretty much set for their 17th victory in a row.
Mitchell had the 16 in the first quarter. He finished with 23. Yes! Talk about a finish!
But Harden had different ideas. Leading by 14 by the end of the third quarter, the Bucks really thought they had the win in the bag, only for Harden to explode and score 19 points in the final quarter, and if he'd caught only 1 more rebound, he could have ended the night with a triple-double. But despite coming up short in that regard, Harden's performance was complete in many other ways.
To the action for the mismatch. Harden blows by him, lays it up, got it at the expiration of the shot clock.
He's got Grayson Allen on him. Look at how close this is to a shot clock violation.
As Embiid analyzed, Harden was making all the right plays. He found the right players and passed at the right time, but also took the shots that he knew he could make, and made them too. Those 2 threes were absolutely vital to keep the momentum going, and were probably the turning point in the game as well. I'd say there were still signs of Harden showing his age on some occasions, as he was unable to finish at the rim. But ultimately, it was Harden's best performance as a Sixer, at least in my opinion. and they certainly wouldn't have won it without him. Not to mention, it was a big and important win for Philadelphia. Let's not forget that the 76ers were coming off a painful loss against the Dallas Mavericks and needed the win to keep the pressure on the Celtics in second. If they can keep this form up, they might actually stand a chance of even making a late run for the first seed. And this kind of win can actually propel them to go on to that kind of run. Their recent form has been sensational, winning 7 of their last 10 games, while the Celtics seem to be faltering, losing 5 of their last 10. Factor in Boston's supremacy this season, and you get a feel of just how far the 76ers have come over the course of the last few months. And statement wins are basically what make or break seasons at the business end of the campaign. Yes, the Bucks are 4 games ahead of the 76ers, but a couple of losses here and there, and it could really be curtains for them as the first seed. I've got a lot of faith in Embiid's quality.
The all-time scoring lead and his current scoring average of 26. Oh my goodness, forget that note. How about that dunk? Joel Embiid with the monstrous flush.
And if Harden keeps on producing such performances every other week, it'd be more than enough for Philly to make a deep run in the playoffs this season. And I would go out on a limb and say that if Harden keeps this up, the 76ers could actually go all the way in the NBA too. No exaggeration, Harden has proven his worth as a second option. He may not be the same player he once was, but Harden's trying his best to adapt to the new role, and he's done an impressive job so far. Not many NBA MVPs choose to settle for a secondary role, but Harden's not only agreed to play that, but he's also been thriving in it. He's not as impactful in the paint, but given his ability to drain the shots from the 3 in the mid-range, he remains a big threat when it comes to scoring. I don't think even Harden's biggest haters would ever doubt his defensive skills and contributions on the other end, because that side has remained solid even now. Embiid needed a lot of help from Harden, and while he couldn't come up with the goods in last season's playoffs, Harden seems set to play his heart out and chase the elusive ring he's missed out on so many occasions. And it might just be the best way of putting the pain from 11 years behind him. But it'll take some doing. The good thing is, the 76ers are looking solid.
In this competitive first half, Harden using the Embiid screen. There's the roll, the finish, and the foul. The process with a chance at a three-point play.
And Joel Embiid is quietly putting together another masterful campaign. Gone are the days when analysts wrote him off for being too injury-prone. He's an absolute force of nature and a scoring machine. With Harden's playmaking abilities and Tyrese Maxey putting in a solid shift every night, it's not a surprise that the Sixers fans fancy their chances of going all the way this season. They've got a lot of depth to rely on, and Doc Rivers has been utilizing his resources well up until this point of the season. While Embiid will be their go-to superstar, someone like James Harden can never be written off, especially given his ample experience in the playoffs and the ability to go off as he did against the Bucks. Plus, he's a man on a mission. It would be very unfair of the basketball gods to deprive the future Hall of Famer of a ring, and hopefully the beard gets there this season. That's all I had on James Harden and how he led the Sixers to an impressive win over the Bucks.